The fifth industrial revolution is coming. Some are saying it's already here. Many of us are still confused about what AI even is and how it will affect us, our jobs, and our way of life. This short series is meant to demystify AI and separate hype from the facts. Join Nick, an AI startup co-founder from California, as he interviews professionals just like you about their why and how they're using AI in their everyday life. Today's episode is featuring financial advisor Max Becker-Pos from Vancouver, Canada, who is using AI to streamline the back end of his business. He urges everyone to keep an open mind and says,
to constrain yourself by worrying about what AI is doing bad is just completely the wrong approach.
Enjoy the episode. Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't notice, I'm an AI voice. Let's join the conversation now.
How did you get into wanting to learn about psychology and different topics like this?
Have you heard of Positive Intelligence by Shirzad Chamine?
Actually, don't think I have.
I think I got his name right. Anyway, if you look up positive intelligence, it's science-based. Basically, there's two primal emotions. There's love and fear, right? And they guide everything that we do. That fear has a purpose. If you put your hand on a hot stove by mistake, what would you do?
You take it off quick.
Right. But let's say you lost $6,000 in the stock market. You're still thinking about it 2 years later. You're keeping your hand on the hot stove of negative emotions. We're doing that to ourselves all the time, and so needlessly. We don't have to judge ourselves and be so hard on ourselves. And the people who are hardest on themselves are the ones that you get annoyed by the most because they're really hard on you. That's the only way they feel better about themselves is by being hard on other people.
And usually those people aren't even aware they're in it. The world would do a little bit better if more people had awareness externally as well. I think it's like a two-way. There's the internal awareness and then being able to be aware of the people around me and how they're reacting to the things I'm doing or not doing. You don't want to focus all the time externally, but you can definitely learn some things and also see patterns based on looking to what's happened around you. You were born in Canada, but then spent 12 years in Korea and Japan. And I just thought that was interesting, a unique path. I just wanted to learn more about what were you doing over there? What was the experience like?
Well, I followed a woman and I met another woman there who was my wife because that first one didn't work out. And my wife is Japanese. We met in Korea. We, didn't really have a plan or not exactly vagabonding, but working and studying while living abroad. And yeah, I wouldn't trade it for any amount of money. Just being able to live in a different culture was so fascinating. Just upending a lot of preconceptions. One of the weirdest things is when something in your culture is polite, but in another culture it's considered rude. Like eye contact is not normal in Japan. They are uncomfortable by eye contact. Whereas here, if you don't make eye contact, it's shifty.
Did you feel that changed the way you interacted or understood people? The reason I ask is I feel like I learned a lot by watching someone's eyes and being like that focused on their face.
Yeah, you pick up a lot from tone of voice and content. It does change the interaction. We think that in North America, we do things the right way. They would think that in Japan that they do things the right way. But actually, there's good and bad in both, right? Or things we can learn from each other.
Yeah, fair point. Well, it wouldn't be an AI podcast if I didn't touch on AI a little bit. How are you using it in your day-to-day, or how are you seeing people around you use it?
It's a tool. So you could catch a flight to Japan or you could take a boat. I could not use AI or I could. And believe me, I've gone through tons of resistance. The mental fitness that I've been improving has helped me overcome that resistance. If you were a client right now, we were talking about finances, this would all be recorded. It would create a transcript. I would download that. I would feed it into ChatGPT. I've told ChatGPT my summary of how I want to talk to clients, what you're doing well, because we always celebrate what clients are doing well, what we talked about today, what your action items are, what my action items are, and what are some points to ponder and next steps. Plus, I've fed ChatGPT so much of my own writing. Basically, I think it is me. I'm now cranking out an email summary that covers everything. It takes me about 10 minutes as opposed to like 2 hours or an hour of draining my energy where I don't want it to be. And I'm fully present with my client, not having to take notes on that keyboard the whole time, avoiding the resistance. Like, okay, what if Mr. or Mrs. Client don't like the fact that I'm not writing it by myself, I'm using AI? Well, I'll take that risk. I can take myself out of it. I don't need to be doing stuff that is an energy drainer for me. I want to focus on you and how to help you. If you took my business and put me back a year ago, like I wouldn't even be able to do anything. I can't imagine how I'd be handling the day to day. Like literally is saving hours by AI every day. Cognitive load.
Yep.
And decision fatigue. You only have so much cognitive load. We just don't need to be doing things the way we used to do them. And we can't fight change. Why do you want to take a boat to Japan instead of taking a plane to Japan? Do you like candles in your room when you want to read a book?
Where do you think the fear comes from with AI? The boat and plane example, it makes logical sense to everyone. Do you think there was just as much fear around that transition? Or do you think there's a different type of fear that exists with AI?
AI is more magnified. It's a little more existential. I think Gene brought up those points. AI is going to replace people. It's going to take away jobs. People don't like uncertainty. No one wants uncertainty about the future. Well, what is certain? We're all going to pass away and our lives are finite. But you can't remove uncertainty and fear, whether it's war, stock market declining, a meteor crashing into Earth, or unfortunately our own eventual demise. AI just triggers a whole bunch of those feelings. In 1800 in America, 80% of people worked on farms. Now it's like 1%. What are those 79% doing? They're working in all different kinds of industries. AI is going to kill jobs, but to say that is focusing on the wrong thing. You got to look at the glass half full. If we can use AI to increase productivity to the nth degree, we maybe won't need to have humans in all these kinds of industries, and there will be all new kinds of industries created. To constrain yourself by worrying about what AI is doing bad is just completely the wrong approach. I just see every technology created is going to solve some problems in the past while creating new problems, and the new technologies will continue that pattern. I think another one that's interesting is like what's natural. Like AI is not natural. It's better to use your brain for this or use your brain for that. Nothing we ever do is natural. The whole thing about humans was we sculpt, mold, and transform our environment. Maybe that would help you in your business approaching people who could really benefit from Elomia. It's the resistance, right? You think that your therapist is going to be replaced. Well, no, we're not doing that. We're offering an adjunct to your therapist. Your therapist is still invaluable. A guy at the beach told me, like a hippie looking guy, just one of those guys that's at the beach in the summer, he said, suffer or surrender. And he was very correct, because you either surrender to the changes that are happening and go with them, or you suffer by resisting them.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Every once in a while, I'll have a post that goes viral in the therapist community. It's interesting to see the comments. Some make good points. Some seem to be arguing their side from a more emotional place. And I always find it interesting that these people that are very tenured in the field of mental health can still be caught up in different patterns as well. And I think they're just human patterns. It's not like right or wrong. Not everyone is always able to look at something objectively and ask objective questions and keep an open mind. There's just a lot of resistance to AI in the mental health space, saying that it can't be helpful in a mental health context. You need a therapist to actually get results for a client. And we have direct data that disproves that. We're actually finishing up a study with the University of Pennsylvania. Weird thing where I thought I was going to come and present this data and everybody be like, oh, wow, AI is really valuable. But I was met with a totally different perspective, like almost not wanting to even give it a chance. There's still, tons of good that's done in the mental health industry. There's obviously a spectrum of aspects to any industry. But yeah, it's just interesting for me to get in there and learn more about why the way it is, the history of the mental health industry in the US, how healthcare pays, just all those aspects lead up to people feeling the way they do. I don't think they're like delusional or anything. It's just a bunch of experiences add up to how they're going to react to a certain situation.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, right? It's they're fearful of the disruption, but keep disrupting, because that's what we need to do to move forward. Otherwise we stagnate. Humans have two perspectives. We're kind of open or closed, right? If we're open, that's love, that's hope for possibility, belief in what can be and what we can do, and just all the good things that could be out there. And if we're closed, then we're fearful of what could go wrong and, what wouldn't go our way, basically all the negative outcomes. We can all kind of examine that in ourselves. That's been really helpful to myself.
Yeah, I love that. And it's been helpful to myself as well.
These guys know the benefits me and my AI cousins bring to humankind. Join Nick and his guest every 2 weeks as they join forces to demystify AI for the rest of us. Follow Nick on LinkedIn in between episodes to keep up with his insights. Links in the comments and the description. See you next time.